If you believe you understand everything needed to, please read up on a man in bed. These pointers to become an actual authority on what men enjoy having sex with you and want to. We asked a man what he liked about males in bed, or desire. You'll most likely wind up coming up with numerous ambiguous responses, and actually, that's because the majority of males don't understand what guys desire in a partner. Who can a girl that looks hot come down on me, or a girl's beautiful ass in tits moan? You must understand that it's more than merely outward appearances. It's about investigating. When would you feel romance? According to a girl, the romance was fantastic. Clearly, you've had a wonderful romance when you have an incredible experience. That lets the euphoria flow in. Down there, so in case you're curious about men desire in bed, but remember that they seek a woman who can provide him with a lifelong experience as well. You must practice acrobatic yoga or play out porn to make him happy. In fact, it's simple to understand what men desire in bed. Then you believe men desire in bed. So if you've been thinking anxiously, take a look at what men desire in bed. Relax. This is your first time. The issue is neither a contest nor if it makes you feel unworthy. As an alternative, you should be your most uninhibited and freest self, but it's easier said than done, of course. However, it's not inconceivable that you're trying to discover more about what men enjoy in bed compared to anything else, and you'll observe that it's not as complicated as you believe. Not every romance is enjoyable. What men enjoy in bed is actually the opposite of contrary to popular opinion. Not all romance is well, but they don't always speak up or particular about it, whereas men are naturally predisposed to be more rapidly pleased than some women, and men will let you know whether they dare to. There are some nice and awful lays. There are some romance and some simple soul lays, actions that irritate people, and there are women they simply cannot get enough of. There are also certain items in bed that you can perform in bed with a man, and they will depart if you do these things for them. They are far more eager to win your approval in give back what men desire and want in bed. Prepared to get right in and discover all the advice that will make your man happy and drive him insane in bed. So let's start. When you give clues, it's the best when you give clues when. Regarding women, men can occasionally be pathetically clueless. Men enjoy it when you give them clues about how much you want him, whether either through an all-out or a subtle text. They just love to be teased in romantic photos. Read 35 works that will make him difficult and yearn for your seductive. When you speak out, touch number 2. He's neither you nor I have a mind reader, so why not interrupt his time spent looking for? Simply tell him what makes you feel attracted to him. You don't have to do what you want in bed. Instead, provide him with a list while tell him he will change or engage in foreplay. His techniques really rapidly when he observes your. The third reaction, self-assurance, self-assurance. If you're looking for a fantastic romance, you must let him know how fortunate you are. He is supposed to confide in you in bed, is essential in everything, but it's also really get over is crucial when it comes to relationship. Your shaky legs or your stomach must cherish and possess these aspects of your women. Do not always do this. Certain roles due to their men don't give a damn about your insecurities. Take responsibility for your insecurities. Mischievous number 4 is hotter when you're being, even when you possess that naughty streak in you that you might frequently suppress, notably with regard to your man when you are in a committed partnership. This might be brought on by the anxiety of breaking up with that wonderful girlfriend, SLG. The image of goody two-show that you believe you're held in by your guy. But guys also wish to witness that fierce and cheeky side, particularly in when you let him observe bed number 5. Observe, because men are visual beings, There is no query regarding it, so be sure to provide a nice Eiffel when you're getting it for him. Better yet, put yourself in before a mirror and offer him a wonderful view. You can get him to observe you as you undress, put on clothes, or even make contact. When you assume command, you are number 6 when you take men's preferences in bed, can be controlled when you take charge. There's no need to wait for him to initiate contact. This isn't the 1950s. Make the move to kiss him if you want to initial approach and proceed from there. He's not going to reject and push you away. You two have already experienced romance, so this won't be a problem. He'll most likely be shocked that you initiated contact, which will further increase his, the moment you wake him awake. Number 7 is aroused when you offer him a wake-up call, addressed to a man, only a handful of items that are as like waking up with a chick on top of you. Of him riding his wood in the morning, so each occasionally, when you discover his pole, try to tease it a little in the morning. Little and rouse him with a mouth-watering spread for breakfast. When you activate yourself. When you turn yourself around, you're number 8. Women may require a variety of items prior to. They may become attracted to men. Simply be too much labor. Thus he will undoubtedly, as long as you give yourself a chance. Begin periodically. Enter a romantic state of wetness. Even if it involves daydreaming about, instead of your man, Chris Evans, just keep it from him. When viewing porn, the 9th is when you watch porn. Since guys are visual beings, many people watch. This has nothing to do with porn. With you, in case he inquires whether you would like to, don't assume that watching porn with him is because the things you give him don't turn him on. Try to discover a pornographic style that makes you feel excited and fits you. When you deviate from your routine. Number 10. When your routine is interrupted, you too. Why not? Maybe in the mornings. Change it up since everyone grows tired with procedure. He's the same for men and women desire excitement and unpredictability. Surprise him when it comes to romance. When he least expects it, with a quickie. Perhaps you have guests coming over. For dinner in 30 minutes, okay? Still have enough time to quickly verbal. When you're wearing underwear number 11 while you're wearing lingerie, you no longer need to appear like a model for Victoria. Secret isn't the objective if you're curious about what men enjoy when you're in bed. Keep in mind that the objective is to feel wicked and loved. You might not think to get your man lingerie, that he even takes note of, but gosh, he notes that the underwear won't be on you for a long time, and using that method you can determine when you decide to handle things yourself. When you take things seriously, I worked number 12. Into your own hands, which is frequently what males enjoy, is to be caressed and stimulated in bed by your hands. Thus, if you wish to donate a little more brush for your boyfriend, up on your surprise and handjob skills him with your ability to remove him using only your when you speak. When using your mouth, use hand number 13. Naturally, nothing is as sensual as the way you use your mouth to please him. Kiss him in a different location than trace his erogenous zones and his lips. Finally, using only your lips and tongue, give him a blowout if you don't. His in bed, when you compliment him, think of number 14 as you commend him in men's preferences. In bed might bolster their egos. There are times when you don't have to tell him how wonderful every 2 seconds. The quality of Johnson's bedtime performance. However, occasionally let him know that you enjoy it, or it feels wonderful when he does his tongue do that. You must tell him what you enjoy about him. It will not only increase his self-esteem, but also, don't forget to perform such actions on yourself in the future. When you loop around, when you circle in circles, number 15. Going around in circles is pleasant, on your man, and we aren't discussing mind tricks, but your bedtime movements when you're on top, shifting your hips, provides him with the most exquisite and distinctive feelings, particularly when you produce oval forms that can pique your interest, G-spot and clitoris. Additionally, number 16, when done at an angle, this pertains to the time you are performing it. Dog style, rather than the customary position and angle, modify it slightly by reducing your placing his chest on the bed and showing him provides a wider perspective of your behind as he is positioned behind you. Apart from boosting your G-spot, you're additionally allowing your man to see your back and buttocks in addition to creating the fit. When you assume leadership, number 17 is tighter as you assume leadership. Girls exist in a variety of forms, and they has distinct desires and areas of enjoyment. Guys dislike playing guessing games. Games, since it gives them a sense of inexperience. And uncomfortable, you can take periodically charge and provide. Give him instructions about your preferences and how you prefer. Upon exiting a landing strip, when you exit a landing, it's number 18. Strip. Although the majority of women nowadays go bald because of the Brazilian men, simply do not want you to go too far. What you can do might be too much for them, is channel that looks like a 70s porn star and keep a small landing strip in place. When you speak in a filthy manner, when you talk dirty, you're number 19. Dirty banter is a favorite of certain guys, but you might be modest and refrain from using profanity outside of try some shady conversation in the bedroom while you two are in the midst of the try using a couple tamer words first. See how he feels about it, and you could discover that he is far more aroused than you. If you haven't done it previously, consider, don't worry about using words that you make up. I love it when you do that, or it makes me so wet. Sufficient to rev his, when you have an open mind. When you have an open mind, engine number 20. If you're curious about what men desire keep in mind that males have fantasies in bed, similar to you, so keep an open mind when you don't want to embarrass him when it comes to him. He's discussing these fantasies of his. Why not share his with you? He can attempt your desires, and you can try his, able to experiment and explore. During a flare number 21 together when you're feeling flamboyant, every man's desire is to be able to, however, sleep in bed with different women. Since he refuses to acknowledge it, why not give him his desire by allowing Ed to date another lady? Every time you roleplay, do this by discussing your fantasies and taking it from when you allow him to touch you. When you allow him to contact, his number is 22. In fact, you guys enjoy stroking their women, and they enjoy engaging in foreplay. The issue is the misunderstanding between the men would like to investigate your body and relish it, but as soon as they so stimulated that they believe it's time to take charge and get right to the action. And inform him that you would like to take it slowly by directing his face and hands along your body so he'll be aware of it. What you desire and savor the present, rather than emphasizing penetration and naturally, that provides you with the much-needed prolonged playtime to get warmed up when you blow his head, when you shatter his head too. Number 23. Nothing can arouse a man more quickly than observing your intense interest in it. After all, there isn't anything like incredible love with a single person. You have to be there to enjoy it. Together, so simply raise the temperature and allow your bodies to carry you to the stars, and no holds on the back. When you create some sound, when you make noise, bard number 24. There are those who dislike every sound when you have to figure out swiftly determine if he is one of them. But a lot of men enjoy listening to you groan. It helps to scream in the bedroom. If you like what he's doing, participate. Consider it a guidance for him. You don't need to let out a gentle scream. Yes, we will do the when you mix things up. The 25th tip for mixing things up. Variety is always a good thing in your romantic life if you are constantly together maintaining the same posture. When in bed, begin experimenting with various roles and locations. You've never experimented before, and be receptive to all the when you massage him in different areas. potential number 26 when you massage him. In other locations, too. It's more than just his masculinity. You know, it's exciting and delicate. He can be touched in various locations to please him as well. For instance, you can give him a back rub and move your stroking his hair to get him excited. When you startle him, when you surprise him, he is number 27. Everyone enjoys a good surprise. To make bedtime more interesting, try something that will surprise him. Try taking action in a constructive manner, unexpected, like as anticipating his arrival in ready for the day in your new linger bed. Offering him a small strip or the next show tease rather than merely when you engage in kinky behavior. Number 28 should be undressed when you. Something men occasionally enjoy kinky things in bed, such as when you also show off your weird side, transitioning from role-playing to being somewhat controlling him by issuing him directives about your desires in bed or going all out with all of your secret kinks. Letting your inner self out is very acceptable. Come on, weirdo, when you make it enjoyable. When you make it enjoyable, number 29 comes out. Need should be enjoyable. So when you apply pressure on the action or plan, it's similar to a man desires a chilly shower for himself. Someone who is willing to simply pull over visiting a motel nearby and carrying out impulsively anticipating his subsequent action increases his libido and makes him desire for romance. When you don't hold back, you're more than 30. When a lady goes all out in public, guys go gaga. It's not necessary for you to be like the wailing and swearing of extreme porn stars the entire time, but only the fact that you're being authentically you and you're not reserving yourself or being insecure is when you reach your peak. When you climax most, number 31 is sufficient. If you're with a man, he wants to make you climax. Has no desire to induce ejaculation, then you should look for another man, because when a man sees you, he acts selfishly. Climax due to him. Therefore, how can he not being turned? When you take no action, when you don't do anything on number 32 with relation to the bedroom or in general, when you're around, things don't truly must have a romantic ending every. This is particularly true if a man is genuinely interested in you occasionally. A wonderful cuddling session simply cannot be. To have a hug defeated number 33 to receive a hug after. We believed the man must be the after romance. He wants to be a cuddler. But when you're spooning, you're also cuddled surroundings, and you're the huge spoon. He will be grateful that he was spared from having to inquire if he will feel appreciated and loved. When regarding what males enjoy doing in bed, that is how a partner must feel. To number 34, to be pointedly teased. What are the things, men, that are not returnable? Like in bed, but I have a request for you. To assume complete control, but to take a step further, they might also desire to make fun of them to the extent that they are totally defeated. To assume whole responsibility. To go down to the point, it is number 34. Without a way back, something that men enjoy doing in bed, but won't request that you take the total in charge, but to go one step beyond. Additionally, they might want you to make fun of them, to the extent that they totally lose getting a lap dance. It is number 36 to receive a passionate lap dance. It's feasible that your partner would adore it if you gave him a passionate lap, strip tease, or perhaps a dance, but I'm not sure how to ask for it. Release the tension and make a straight jump. Instead, he will undoubtedly relish the romanticism, and every moment will be sensational as a result of outcome, while these suggestions for men's preferences in bed are useful for determining what guys it's still up to you in bed. Encourage your man to try new things and investigate what ultimately appeals to both of you. Knowing that is what makes him crazy in bed. You're also obsessed with him,